Welcome to Ancestors and Aunties. This is the podcast for Black women in HR and in executive leadership roles. Black women who are ready to stop putting everyone else's needs before their own. This space is for you if you're ready to prioritize yourself, protect your peace, and do it without feeling guilty or feeling like you're all alone. So I'm your host, Kim-Monique Johnson. I am an energy leadership coach, a retreat guide, and I often refer to myself as a recovering HR leader turned liberation strategist here with my fellow liberation strategists. I can't wait to talk to you about our show today because this show blends what we call ancestral wisdom, some executive insights, and really some soulful truth telling to help you lead without losing yourself. And the way I like to start this podcast, as I will with every episode, is to acknowledge our ancestors and to do so with the quote from Alice Walker. To acknowledge our ancestors means we are aware that we did not make ourselves, that the line stretches all the way back, perhaps to God or to gods. We remember them because it is an easy thing to forget that we are not the first to suffer, rebel, fight, love, and die. The grace with which we embrace life, in spite of the pain and the sorrow, is always a measure of what has gone before. Thank you, Alice Walker.
It's beautiful.
And thank you, my partner,
Yes.
Issa, for
Hello,
joining.
Kim. Thank you.
Hello.
It's so wonderful to be here with you.
It's so wonderful to be here with you. We have such history and stories to tell. So please, in your own words, beloved, tell the good people who you be.
Hello, Kim and everyone. My name is Issa Guzman. I'm calling in from Crown Heights, Brooklyn. My people are from Peru, Callao, Peru, and other places. And the Bay Area in California is also home in my heart. So,
Mm.
yes, really happy to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And so we're going to get into our story, the good of how you and I got to know each other and love up on each other and love up on the people that we were so graced to work with. We'll get to that.
Mhm.
I'd first love to hear from you, though, as I was reading that quote and as we talked about our ancestors. Just
Mm.
what touches your heart when we think about the ancestors being with us
Yeah.
today?
I mean, I've been really getting into neuroscience lately. And so all of the dimensions from the intellectual, the spiritual, physical, um, and emotional, right? They live through us. And so when you were saying that, I was thinking about epigenetics and like the wisdom on a literal physical material sense, the wisdom that lives in me because of my ancestors, and that I'm not alone. Actually, forgot that quote. It's like thousands of, I don't know, when we walk into any room, like
Yeah.
literally thousands of people are walking in with us.
Mhm.
So just feeling less alone in a world that can sometimes feel lonely, what we're facing in our organizations, just in everything, right?
Mhm.
So I just felt a lot of sense of belonging, and we've got this.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. And so I'll share a little bit about what inspired the podcast, this particular series that I call Ancestors and Aunties. And then
Mm.
I love for us to share our story about how we call in the ancestors in that exact way, right?
Yes.
All right. So first, y'all, this podcast was inspired not only because of the work that I get to do with Issa and others, but it comes from my own auntie. Her name is Francine Holly. Shout out to Aunt Francine. She's 80 years young. Sidebar, Aunt Francine is 80 years young because she goes to the Y. I told you the other day, I was like, so Aunt Francine, you go 3 times? No, baby, I go 4 times a week. Four
Wow.
times a week.
She knows what's up.
She knows what's up, lifts weights. She's always taking care of herself with movement and being connected with other people, right? Being social. And so I've talked to her many times about the work that I do. And one day she just did what Aunt Francine does, which is share her wit and wisdom. When she said, I remember when I was working for the county, she worked for Orange County, Florida. And she said every now and then you had a manager or consultant team come in talking about, all right, we're going to take things to the next level. And she said, I told them you need to fix the level you're on right now. Things are jacked up on this level. You want to go to the next level. You got to take care of this one.
So real.
It is so real, right?
Yeah.
It's so real. That's the wisdom. And it just dawned on me that, so much of what we are aspiring to is like this other thing, this next thing. It's the shiniest, brightest thing over here. Meanwhile, right here, the
Uh-huh.
foundation is raggedy. Yeah. So, what did you
Francine. Auntie
what did you take
Francine.
from our Francine's wisdom?
Yeah, I think that yeah, it makes me think about giving ourselves the chance to be human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to embrace the full breadth of the human experience. Um, Sometimes it's about like fully engaging in this experience, in this moment, and being satisfiable, in moving at a human pace, right? And I think sometimes we lose sight of that for whatever constructs or conditioning have taught us that more is better, is, kind of to justify our existence. And I like what she's saying. What about this level? Can we be okay here? Can we be okay now? Can we
Right.
be okay today? Right.
Yes.
And I think that really shifts the paradigm of what we're considering our focus and
Mm-hmm.
how it is that we want to direct our precious attention
Mm-hmm.
today.
Today. Yes. Oh, I would love for you to meet my Aunt Francine one day.
I know, me too. You take such good care of her.
Oh,
Yeah, your
cute.
aunties.
Yes, they took care of me, right? Yay. So let's go into how we had this amazing moment of calling it out ancestors. So I'm going to remind you, dear friend, I think the year, it was definitely before COVID. It was probably
What
2019.
even was pre-COVID?
I
When
know,
was that?
right? I know. Thing. We had to show up to the place. So the client's organization name will be withheld, right? We're not to
Yes.
share. But
Yeah.
we will
Real
share that
fake.
it was, for me, it felt a little bit behind God's back. We were
Yes.
prepared, right?
I'm ready.
Walk in there, beautiful, mission driven, black and brown
Mm.
folks doing the
Mm.
hard work as many nonprofits do.
Yeah.
And we had our agenda and we were ready to do strategic planning, right? They were thinking about the next and where they were going, right? Exactly. And the shit we heard. Yeah. We had to
Right.
basically say, okay, they're not ready to talk about the next level. They're not ready to talk
No.
about the future strategic planning because there was so much going on,
Yeah.
right? So much tension and friction and disconnect going on that you and I stepped inside a conference room. We closed the door. We put them on a break for like 15 minutes. We were trying to rearrange. This one is mad at that one. This one doesn't want to talk to that one. Being stressed, being burnt out, coming to work, not sure what you're going to do today because of the shifting political agenda. That's one thing. But you telling me that people are yelling and screaming and punching and hitting each other? I know. You're still
I
rubbing your
think you. I know.
You're still feeling it.
Woo!
It's deep,
Yes.
right? It's
Yeah.
deep. Yeah. So there we were, then having to like figure out what do we do next?
Right.
What do you remember next being in that conference room, Issa?
I mean, I think what I remember from that experience that feels so common is
Mm,
that within these systems, right, where we're there because we care, right? We could pick whatever,
yeah.
but we're there because we care
Mm,
in the progressive sector. Um, and just we're dealing with so much in terms of not only what we're trying to do externally, but how
mm-hmm,
we relate to each other, right? How we honor each other's humanity. And I
mm-hmm,
think I've seen time and again the moment that there's an opportunity to really turn towards each other, to turn
mm-hmm,
towards what's really happening,
mm,
so much is there.
yeah.
And even just an opportunity to really just look at each other as human beings, right?
Mm,
And to say, how are we?
Yeah.
What does it mean to be okay in this space together, to be okay in this time in history?
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me again of your Aunt Francine. Like, what about this level?
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate the opportunities to be in spaces where we might have a plan, we might really want to get somewhere, but it's really how are we embodying ourselves through the process
Mm-hmm.
that really determines where it is that we're going or how are we going to get there, right? So
Yeah.
they often say like the product is the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like do the ends justify the means? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a true believer that it is about the embodiment, right? How is it that we're treating ourselves day to day,
Yeah.
treating each other day to day,
Mm-hmm.
be able to be honest with ourselves and each other about what we need.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
love Kim. You always share a good, you love a good no,
Yes.
right? And so, how do we really reclaim our internal wisdom, our ancestral wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you say return home to ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can return home to ourselves and really be part of a collective from an authentic place and a place of honesty and truth. And
Yeah.
that takes courage because that's not often what we're conditioned to how to show up,
That's
right?
right.
In professional spaces and group spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just something so fulfilling about really knowing that you have your back, your internal wisdom. It's unassailable. Like how it is that you want to be, and how you want to move, centering your humanity, the humanity of those around you.
Yeah.
You want to come for me for that? What? We're talking about social justice.
Yeah.
Let me use the bathroom before this meeting. Like, let's, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
honor our humanity. Let's reclaim it. So I'm
Absolutely.
not surprised that so much came up in that moment. I'm glad that we pivoted to tend towards it.
Because folks are about the work, right, externally, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't think about the work internally. So much so that they allow the external pressures, right, to take over what they would not want to see happen to those same external clients that they're trying to serve.
Right. Beautiful space, by the
It
way.
was a beautiful space. Brand new African and Latino art was everywhere.
Everything. It
Everything was
was
like
the view.
fabulous. The
Yes.
view, right? But the vibe inside,
Woo!
what? People were tearing each other down. And so, if you ever been that, like, again, I was, in again, a different life, I was the HR person, right? Sort of like seeing myself responsible for the organizational health and how people are getting along and bringing in consultants and coaches. And yet the place was on fire.
Mm.
And so we're in this conference room thinking about what do we do next? Because we absolutely need a reset. And by this time, the clock was ticking. The 15 minutes dwindled down to 10. I think we had literally said, okay, we've got 3 minutes. What are we going to do? Do you remember?
And then we said,
You said,
ancestors come through. Ancestors come through. Please, please. Because what are we gonna do? What are we gonna? We can't just fix it. You know what
right,
I mean? But
right.
we can hold space.
We can hold space.
We can acknowledge.
Hmm.
We can name and validate.
Right, right.
We can honor our humanity and our messiness.
Hmm. Absolutely. That was the message the ancestors gave. They're like, go in there and just be yourselves. Just go
Mm-hmm.
in there and allow people. Yeah, the ancestors said we didn't have opportunities to process what was going on in the
No.
moment, right? We just had to do what we were told to do, and so we did that, right? We just sat in a circle. We did a healing centered circle without calling it that, right? Yeah. Do you remember what came up?
Specifics I remember was we're talking about the rehumanization, right? And liberation being around embracing our humanity, reclaiming it, ours and others.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of the leaders actually stepping into their own humanity
Mm-hmm.
as regular people, like, hey,
Right.
this takes courage to say, and X, you
Yes.
know, from
Yes.
us going to like these roles that we're often conditioned into that are so dysfunctional, put so much on who we should be, how we treat each other, to like we're people in a space, all enduring such difficulty of this time.
Issa, thank you so much. I would love to delve into a little bit more too, if you feel called to and feel supportive. I share a little bit about my auntie.
Mm.
I also have beloved ancestors that I can call into this space in future episodes. You shared with me, though, a dear ancestor who lives with you, and I would love if there's anything that you can share.
Mm.
How your beloved ancestor, yeah, guide,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially when you're doing this work.
I love that. So I will say I'm calling in three energies right now. I do have my facilitator, my co-facilitator deck. Okay. She's
Yeah.
here, always consulting. I pulled the joy card. I love this for us.
Hmm.
This is an oracle deck, and maybe in the show notes we can add the link to
Yeah.
this Chicana creator. Super badass, intuitive.
Hmm.
And so that's one energy that sometimes I look to as a guide.
Hmm.
But I do want to right now shout out two ancestors who always show up in my life and to do this work. One of them I want to share, my tia Rosita. She's my sweet tia, lived in Peru, actually transitioned last year. And I
Hmm.
remember talking to her. It's my tia Rosita who transitioned, but my tia Juana, who's a little older than her, she just turned 84. And we
Hmm.
were talking, and I was talking to them about the work that I do, helping supporting organizations and organizational health.
Hmm.
And one of them is a Cancer, my tia Juana. And she was like, sometimes, she worked her whole life as a nurse in Peru,
Hmm.
like what is the baby boomer generation,
Yeah.
right? And so, in terms of being a woman in
Hmm.
roles, talk about institutional roles,
Hmm.
dynamics, unhealthy dynamics, being dismissed as a nurse
Hmm.
by doctors. There were only male doctors, when she came
Hmm.
up in that work.
Hmm.
And she was like, sometimes you need to just tell people how
Yes.
they're impacting you. Like you just need to say it. And I loved that. I was like, yeah, that's so smart. She's a
Hmm.
Cancer like me. I
Yeah.
was like, yes. And she was like, otherwise they wouldn't know. But
Mm.
then my tia Rosita,
Hmm.
um, responded and she was like, I forgot exactly how she put it, but she was like, sometimes they don't even give a shit. She was like, you just have to accept it, okay? And decide if you want to be there or not. And I love this interplay between both
Yes.
of their wisdoms
Yes.
because they were essentially, I think what that reminded me is about my choice. And
Hmm.
that's a lot in this liberation work and this idea of how do I reclaim my power, return home to myself.
Yes.
Yes, systems of oppression, unhealthy dynamics. Um, we are really exposed to so much that is unjust, and
Hmm.
that doesn't go without saying. It's we know that, right? And we can't unsee that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then there's the whole other sphere of influence where our power is, where how do we focus ourselves, and that we do have choices, right?
Hmm.
And the more we can reclaim, know those choices and stay close to our sense of self, right? I get a choice. If I tell this person, communicate because they don't know what's up,
Right.
right? My tia
Right.
Juana's wisdom
Hmm.
or my tia Rosita's wisdom, which is like, fuck it.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm not here to save them.
Yes.
My freedom doesn't lie in their recognition of me.
Yes.
So get hip to the game,
Hmm.
figure out what time it is, and
Hmm.
decide what you're going to do.
That's right.
And your personal happiness
Yeah.
lies in you.
Yes.
So I just want to share that because I think about that often. Both of them, my treasured ancestors, my living ancestors, transitioned ancestors, and it reminds me often,
Hmm.
like, to keep my freedom and my sense of power close.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah,
Ooh. I love that. I love that. That is so beautiful, so powerful. Yes. Thank you.
so
Thank
good.
you for sharing. So good.
Yeah,
And there's such wisdom and such, like you said, interconnection, right? It's also like what I'm getting is like we don't have to like just follow one way, or this
no.
grandmother was so profound, or this auntie or this uncle, right? It's a mix of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even a mix of cultures, as you and I have talked about, African, Afro Latina culture, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
mix, there's a blend, there's a wisdom there that we all can relate to, right? Whether
Mm-hmm.
we're here on Long Island or in Brooklyn, right? Or in Peru or in Florida, right? There's something that we can connect to. So here's my invitation, folks who are listening. We want to give you something that you can take away. Just one thing. Because here's the other thing that I've learned. We try to do too damn much. Right? Just one thing. What is one gem, if anything, that you got from our conversation today?
Mm-hmm.
Which gem, what's one lesson, one quote, one something from an ancestor, right, that you can really lean into, right? On this level,
Yeah.
in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to support you, to keep you lifted, to keep you nourished. That is
Beautiful.
that is my invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else, Issa? I'm so happy and so delighted that you joined me for this inaugural launch of Ancestors and Aunties. You were there in
Yes.
the beginning, and so thank you for helping me to lay the foundation, this level, for what this podcast can do for folks. Any words as we close?
I just maybe I would say, and this is something that I say to myself that I think I need to hear, and it may resonate with others. That, I'll just share one other piece. My dad is also an ancestor of mine, and he often told me, "Tu vida es para ti," like your life is for you. And
Mm-hmm.
so for us to remember that each moment, each day is actually our birthright, to really find ways to um, just really cherish ourselves, that we deserve to enjoy, we deserve to feel sunlight on
Mm-hmm.
our skin,
Yeah.
we deserve to feel nourished, hydrated.
I share.
I was going to say something else, but that's what came out. We deserve to feel hydrated, And so just wherever you are, and truly, this is saying to myself, like, really just like wishing nourishment, that
Mm-hmm.
we can, you often say this, Kim, create the days we need, the moments we need, that we actually have a lot of influence and power
Yeah.
over the experiences we get to live, and
Mm-hmm.
hoping that we feel connected to that, and our sense of that that's for you, that that's for us to have and enjoy.
Love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really adore you. Appreciate you so
Yay!
much. Thank you for sharing. And so, folks, thank you so much. This has been Ancestors and Aunties. And again, I'm your host, Kim-Monique Johnson. I'm thrilled to be joined by my good friend and partner, Issa Guzman. And we'll see you next time. So thanks for tuning in. And again, if you felt seen, if you felt a little bit nourished, or maybe even a little more grounded today, maybe even reminded with a smile, with a tender heart of an ancestor, an auntie, an uncle, a beloved, please share this episode, subscribe so you'll be notified when the series launches. And remember,
Mm-hmm.
you're not walking alone, right? You're really walking a path that our ancestors have cleared for us. So thank you so
Beautiful.
much.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Grateful for
Love.
you.
So grateful for you.